If you're a non-US resident looking to build US credit without wasting time on low-limit secured cards, this is the video you've been waiting for. Now, most people will tell you to start with a secured credit card, and well, that's okay. After helping clients from over 15 countries get access to high-limit credit cards and business funding, I can confidently say that that's the amateur route. But you're not here to be an amateur, or at least you don't want to be one. You're here to build credit strategically. So if that's your goal, buckle up, because I'm going to show you a simple 3-step method that helped one of our clients from Canada get a $4,000 unsecured credit card as his very first card in the US. Quick intro before we dive in. My name is Tyler Da Costa, and I help non-residents like you open US bank accounts remotely, build strong credit profiles, and leverage those profiles to travel the world for free on points and miles, and of course, secure 0% interest business funding. Just a quick heads up, this method works best if you've got a little capital to work with. If you're looking for a zero effort, zero money kind of solution, this probably isn't for you. But if you stick around, I promise you'll walk away with something truly valuable to use when the time is right. So to kick things off, step 1 is all about getting the right US personal bank account. I know. Everyone says you can't open one remotely without a social security number, but that's just not true. You just need to know where and how. One of the best banks we recommend to our clients is Navy Federal Credit Union. They accept ITINs, they offer great credit building products, and here's the kicker. They allow you to open an account remotely if you know the right process. Normally you'd have to be in the US and a military member or related to one. Through our US Credit Accelerator mentorship, we actually help clients get access without stepping foot in the US. Our Canadian client, he did just that. No flights, no hotels, and definitely no overpriced airport food. So let's say you've got this account. Now it's time to start building some credit. We're not going to jump to the secured credit card. We're actually going to go to a secured loan. Now, when you're starting to build credit, you really have 2 different types of accounts that you can use. One is a secured credit card and one is a secured loan. Now, secured credit card just works that, you're going to make a deposit onto this card, and that deposit is going to become your credit limit. Now, this is just a no-risk solution for the bank to give you some sort of credit, allow you to start building credit without the risk falling back on them. So, if you don't pay your bills, they're just going to keep your deposit, and basically no one loses except you, who's not getting any credit built and not going to get access to these high-limit credit cards. Now, on the other hand, and even more powerful than a secured credit card, is a secured loan. Now, what these are very similar to the secured card, where you're going to deposit money into an account, and only certain banks offer these products. It's really crucial to know when you're going to open up bank accounts which banks are the most powerful for you so that you can get the right accounts, build credit the right way, and get access to all the fine perks that come with having great credit in the US. So you'll deposit some money into the account, they're going to lock that money up, they're going to give you a loan for the exact same amount that you made the deposit with, and then they're going to charge you a little bit of interest, and this is very low. I think it's usually below 3%. So very minuscule way to build credit and build some credibility to get yourself to some higher limit cards that are going to give you a lot more benefits down the road. But the reason why these are so powerful is because when you're going on your credit building journey, depending on what your goals are, if you're going for, you just want the travel perks, or you're trying to get to that business credit phase where you can get 0% interest business credit cards, your journeys are going to differ a little bit. But one thing you need to realize, or that you should realize when you're starting your journey, is that when you apply for business credit cards and even personal cards, banks are going to look at a few different things. And one of the things they look at is your comparables. And when I say comparables, I just mean they're going to look at your personal credit profile, and they're going to look at, what types of accounts do you have, how high are your credit limits, how old are your accounts, and they're going to factor all these things in when they decide whether or not they're going to issue you credit. A lot of people don't talk about that. Everyone's focusing on the credit score. I got the 750, what's the next move? Look, your credit score is your foot in the door. It does not assure you high limit credit cards. Your credit profile, which is basically your financial report card of all the different types of accounts you have, the age, the diversity of accounts, all that good stuff, your payment history, that is what's going to get you high limit credit cards, personally and on the business side. And one of those factors is your credit mix. So that just means, do you have other types of accounts other than just credit cards? So your credit cards are considered revolving accounts. Those are accounts that you get where you get a credit limit. You have access to it all the time. You use it, you pay it off. You use it, you pay it off. And then you have installment accounts. Now these are accounts like mortgages, auto loans, your secured loans. And when you have these things on your credit profile, they're very powerful for helping you get high limit credit cards down the road. Getting back to the Navy Fed pledge loan, which is the secured loan that we're talking about, I mentioned that you need to have access to some capital for this. Look, They will accept you for as little as $250, right? That's going to be the minimum deposit that you can make, which, you know, if that's all you can do, that is great as well. But you want to keep in mind, like we just said, talking about these comparables, you want to add a large amount in here, as large as you can. Like if you have extra capital sitting on the side and you don't need it in the next, 2 weeks, use that. Like I've seen guys put up to 100K into these things and it works wonders for their credit profile. And the method that we use is we actually pay these things off almost immediately. We pay off 90 to 95% of this pledge loan. That gets reported onto your credit profile, and now you have a loan that's open and active, because this is when they are most powerful and most effective on your credit profile, not when they're closed. You have an open and active loan, it's 90 to 95% paid off, and it just looks tremendous on your credit profile. Just to recap, you're going to get that Navy Fed membership. You are going to apply for a secured pledge loan, just like our Canadian client did. All right, if you can put 1,000, if you can put 3,000, if you can put 7,000, put 10,000, put 50,000, put as much as you can. Okay, you're going to get access to that money anyway. You're going to pay it off, and that money's going to get released back into your account. All right, whatever the amount is that you pay, that money's going back into your account. So very simple, and that's exactly what our Canadian client did. So he took a $1,000 pledge loan. He went in there, I think within like 2 weeks, he went and paid off 90% of that loan. Now it's a nearly paid off loan. It reports to the credit bureaus, and now he has a decent trade line on his credit profile. But here's the real strategy. So once you pay off that first pledge loan, 90%, 95%, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go get another pledge loan. We call the secured loan stacking. You got a $1,000 pledge loan. He paid off 90% of it. Then he went and he took 10 grand and got another pledge loan. So now on his credit report, it's showing that he's nearly paid off the first loan, and he's showing financial progress because he's able to go out and get a loan for a higher amount after that. And even before he paid off this loan 90% again, or 95%, he went and applied for that Capital One card. The cool thing with Capital One is that if you use their pre-approval link, okay, this is a referral pre-approval link that I have. I'll drop it in the caption of this video. If you use this link, there is a good chance that you can bypass the secured card phase and get right to an unsecured card, which means you don't have to put any of your own money down on this card. You've already done that with the secured loans, but you got the money back. And that's exactly what our client from Canada did. He went and applied for this Capital One. He used my Capital One pre-approval tool, and he was actually grandfathered into an unsecured card with his very first card with a $4,000 limit. Now you have to realize how powerful this is, because if you're getting a first credit card from Capital One, 95% of the time they're going to start you off with like a $200 or a $300 credit card if they decide to give you an unsecured card. So you can see the power of these secured loans going into effect. So there you have it. If you want to get high limit credit cards, you want to get them decently early in your credit building journey, you have to prepare your credit profile. I know a lot of people are very eager to go out and apply for all the cards they can, but you have to realize, like, these banks aren't just handing out money to anyone, okay? They're analyzing your credit profiles, and quite frankly, if someone comes up to you and asks to borrow $5,000 or $10,000 and you don't have any track record of their finances, or you don't know anything about them, are you going to lend the money? Just to recap here, you're going to open a Navy Federal account if you have that connection. Okay, that is something we offer our clients in our U.S. Credit Accelerator mentorship. We give them access to a application. Okay, we can't guarantee approval. That's just something we can't do. But I would say 95% of the people that we've worked with have gotten approved as long as they have the right documents. Okay, you need an ITIN, you need a passport that is unexpired from your home country. You're going to need a utility bill or an equivalent. You can get renter's insurance from lemonade.com. This is a very cost-efficient way of getting some sort of address document for verification, for address verification. I believe it's a minimum of $5 a month, and you can cancel that anytime. So that's a beautiful little hack you can use for address verification. And then you just need a U.S. phone number. I've seen a lot of different ways people get their U.S. phone numbers. A lot of people use VoIP numbers, and don't get me wrong, they do work. I still use one today. But when you're opening accounts remotely and you're not showing that you have U.S. ID, whether that's a driver's license or a state ID, these banks are going to request a little more verification in most cases. And what I've seen with our clients is that even if you provide a utility bill, if they are at all a little bit unwary about this person who's applying, let's be honest, these bankers are not as educated as we are about the U.S. credit space, about U.S. banking for non-residents. It's just not something they deal with on a day-to-day basis. There's just too many Americans out there that they can deal with, okay, 350 or whatever it is million, and we're just a small drop in the bucket. So we are almost educating them, but unfortunately it doesn't work out that way when you're doing this application. So you want to make sure you have all the right documents in place. So I have seen them in some cases request a billing statement for your phone number. So there's a simple solution for this. There's a company called US Mobile, okay? You can go in there, you can purchase SIM cards, you can purchase the phone with a SIM card, and you'll actually get a real plan with a billing statement, and you can order this online. Now, the only caveat to this is that you have to have the phone delivered to your US address, and the phone has to be activated within the US. But once it is, you can take this phone, you can ship this phone to wherever you are. Now you have a phone with a two-factor text that you can accept your text messages when you're logging in, get your login codes from your banks, and you are now going to have an actual billing statement for your phone number, okay? So that's just a second layer of address verification. It might seem like a little bit of a hassle, but if you are trying to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in free travel and business and first-class flights out of a country that you do not actually live in, there's going to be some hoops and hurdles, and you just have to deal with that. Like, that's a very small price to pay for the max benefits that you can get, okay? You have to look at the value proposition. Okay, I won't keep you any longer. If you found value in this video, or maybe you've tried this strategy before, drop it in the comments and let me know how you got these cards. I'd love to hear your success story, and if you want our help opening a Navy Federal account remotely, or you're just tired of watching videos that only give you the basics and never the real sauce, hit us up, send us an email, support@usmarketmastery.com, or better yet, follow us on Instagram or follow me on Instagram, US Market Mastery. I am posting daily content of travel hacking tips and credit building tips specifically for non-US residents. Of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, send this video to a friend, whatever it is that you do, and I'll see you on the next one.